Hi, everyone. I am excited to share more about our 2026 Christmas markets and Danube River Cruise. I am going to briefly go over the itinerary, the highlights, common FAQs, and then save some time at the end for questions. So diving right in. As an overview of our itinerary, we are going to arrive to Budapest, and the idea is that if you're coming from the US or Canada, you would be leaving on November 25th, landing in Budapest, Hungary on November 26th, ideally around mid-morning to midday, so that you can join us for an afternoon tour of the Buda Castle and our welcome dinner. On the 27th, we will go as a small group to the thermal baths. This is one of the most iconic parts of Budapest. So we will have a sort of spa day in the morning, followed by getting on our luxury cruise in the afternoon, and some time for the Christmas markets in the evening. The 27th through December 2nd, our accommodations will be on our cruise. On the 26th, we will be staying at a 5-star hotel in Budapest. Then on the 28th, as part of the cruise, we'll have a guided walking tour of the historic landmarks of Budapest, as well as more time for the Christmas markets. Then we'll sail in the afternoon and go down the Danube River. We will be the following day in Bratislava, Slovakia. And again, we will have time for a walking tour as well as tasting lots of different Slovakian foods and exploring the Christmas markets, which are really known for their food as well as their hand-carved wooden items. On the 30th, we will make it to Vienna, where we will have a full day to explore the famous Christkind market there, and also do a tour of some of the highlights like the palaces and the St. Stephen's Basilica. Then we will cruise back on December 1st, all the way to Budapest, arriving in the late afternoon with final shopping at the Christmas markets there, and then a captain's dinner to say farewell to the crew and the ship. Finally, on the 2nd, we will have private transfers arranged for you back to the Budapest airport for your departures home. So, highlights. In Budapest, one of the most iconic buildings is the Parliament building that you see right here. And this is actually modeled after the Parliament building in the UK. It looks a little familiar, but it's right on the shores of the Danube River, and we'll have the chance to walk around Parliament Square, which is actually where one of the main Christmas markets is in Budapest. We will also obviously visit the different Christmas markets. There are 2 main ones, and we'll have the chance to see both of them while we are staying there. They're really just so full of fun. There's lots of activities, there's lots of food, and there's also lots of shopping to be done. So we will enjoy both the 2 largest Christmas markets in Budapest throughout our time there. And then in those first 2 days in Budapest, we will go to the thermal baths. Budapest has several different thermal baths, but we like the Sanyeki because it's the most beautiful architecture. You have this gorgeous yellow palace, and there are 19 thermal baths, some inside, some outdoor, and we are going to have a full 4 or 5 hours to just enjoy, relax, soak in the different thermal baths, as well as enjoy being able to do the saunas and the cold plunges as well. So a full spa day. And then Buda Castle is something that you really can't miss when you go to Budapest. So Budapest is Buda and Pest on the 2 different sides of the Danube River. So the Pest side is actually where most touristy things are. So the Parliament building, the Christmas markets, the thermal baths, those are actually all on the Pest side of the river. But the most iconic part of the Buda side of Budapest is this castle. And so we will do a guided tour of the castle and learn all about the history of this really important city. Then when we go to Bratislava, this is a really fun stop because it's a much less visited Christmas market, and it's also just a much less visited country. Slovakia is not someplace that you hear about a lot of people going. So this will be your chance to get off the beaten path, discover what is much more a local Christmas market. The Bratislava Christmas market is full of a lot of different foods. It's actually most famous for its different foods. And so we will walk around, taste lots of these different foods, as well as see the castle and some of the really beautiful architecture in the old historic part of Bratislava. So we'll have most of a full day to explore Bratislava as a group. In Vienna, you could spend a whole week in Vienna. We don't have that much time, but we're going to see the highlights. So you'll see the Hofburg Palace as well as St. Stephen's Basilica. And we will also tour 2 out of the 9 different Christmas markets. So as a group, we will have time to visit different Christmas markets, the most famous of which is actually right in the square in front of St. Stephen's Basilica. And so we'll have lots of shopping. It's just a very colorful and lively market that draws people from all over the world to visit. And so as we travel through these 3 European capital cities, we're going to be doing so on the MS Riviera Radiance. We are really excited to be offering this trip in partnership with a river cruise company that is focused on very small ship experiences. So Riviera is a excellent ship. It was just rebuilt and redesigned in 2025. So this will be only the 2nd year of it running, and it will be very modern and very luxurious. There are multiple different public spaces on the inside of the ship, as well as an upper deck where you can sit and view the Danube River, as well as 3 different restaurant options. So we'll have the chance to try all of them throughout our stay on the ship. What is very unique about this cruise is that it is capped at 90 guests, and all of the guests are solo travelers. And so the ship is privatized and is only welcome to solo travelers. There will be no couples. There might be friends and people who know each other, but everybody is in single occupancy cabins. And so this makes it for a very welcoming environment. You will be with 7 other women from Women Travel Abroad, plus our trip host. So it'll be a group of 8 of us going on this tour. And then there will be around 80 other solo travelers from around the world who come in other small groups, as well as just fully independent on this cruise. But it is solo travel only. And we have reserved single occupancy cabins with the balconies. These are the ruby level cabins, and they're very comfortable. They're well appointed, and they have a small little balcony along with a fully glass sliding door so that you can enjoy the scenery as we cruise by all of the different winter landscapes along the Danube. FAQs. So the weather this time of year is cold. It's winter. You can expect it to be in the 30s as lows at night and highs of 40s to 50s. When we've done Christmas market tours in the past, it really depends. There are days that it is really cold and there's snow, and there are days that it's, sunny and quite pleasant. It's hard to predict what the weather is like in Europe in November, December, kind of like similar to the weather on the east coast of the US at this time of year. But there is definitely a chance for snow or rain, and we want folks to make sure that they plan accordingly, and we will provide a packing list to help you prepare for the cold weather. The activity level is rated as a 2, so light. This means there is 1 to 2 miles of walking at a time. There'll be some stops along the way, and you do need to be able to do 1 to 2 flights of stairs independently. But overall, these are pretty short walking tours, gentle inclines, some cobblestones and uneven walking surfaces. But if you are in generally good physical shape and are capable of, walking around unassisted, then you are definitely capable of coming on this tour. The visas, as of right now, there are no visas for Europe, but we do expect that there may be a electronic visa implemented for 2026 travel. So that is something that is not included in the trip price, but we would keep travelers who sign up for this tour abreast of the visa requirements as well as the documents needed for application. And then the price for this tour is 7,345 USD in single occupancy. That includes your stay at a 5-star hotel in Budapest, as well as the 5 nights on the cruise. Again, all in single occupancy, your own private room, private bathroom. This also includes all of your meals, all of your transportation, including pickup from the airport on arrival and drop off back at the airport for departure, your guided tours, and all of the activities mentioned, plus tips. So really, it's a very all-inclusive price. Other than any souvenirs you want to buy at the Christmas markets, there should not be any out of pocket costs. This price does not include your international airfare, so you are responsible for purchasing international airfare from whatever your home airport is, round trip to Budapest, Hungary. And we provide lots of information for those actually booked on the tour in terms of recommendations for exact flight times, and we're happy to advise on which flights to take. The other thing I want to mention is that the cruise itself is open to the public, right? So, unlike most of our small group tours where we are just our group, um, this is a cruise that is going to have other solo travelers on it, and the solo travelers will be co-ed. We will be dining as a small group of 8 women together for our meals. And we will be sticking together as we explore the Christmas markets. So you can think of us as a small group within the larger group that is attending this cruise. But we are excited because we feel very strongly that since this is a solo traveler only cruise, the fact that everybody is like-minded as a solo adventurer, it should be a great community for us to join on the cruise for the week. And again, if you have questions about sort of what the cruise is going to be like, please feel free to reach out after this call. So perfect. I'm gonna stop there and open up for questions, but I look forward to answering any that you may have.